A merchant traveling from Paris to Beijing can do so in months rather than years, protected by Mongol patrols. Banking systems inspired by Persian and Chinese financial practices begin replacing the inefficient medieval barter system. For the first time, Europe is truly connected to the vast global economy. However, Mongol taxation is heavy. Every trader must pay a portion of their earnings to the Great Khan, leading to resentment among European merchants. This fuels underground black markets and smuggling rings, as people try to avoid Mongol oversight. Scene 8. The Church vs. the Mongol State. One of the greatest struggles under Mongol rule is the relationship between the Catholic Church and the Mongol government. The Mongols, known for their religious tolerance, allow Christianity to continue, but they do not let the Pope dictate European policy anymore. For many European Christians, this is a crisis. The Pope is no longer the ultimate authority, he is now just another religious leader under the Mongol Empire. Some church officials, seeking to maintain their influence, cooperate with the Mongols. Others, however, secretly work to undermine their rule. New religious sects emerge, some blending Christian and Mongol spiritual traditions, while others outright reject Mongol rule. This leads to underground movements, secret meetings, and whispers of rebellion in the monasteries and cathedrals of Europe. Scene 9. Rebellion. The struggle for independence. As decades pass under Mongol rule, whispers of rebellion grow louder. Secret resistance movements, led by surviving European nobles and church leaders, begin plotting to overthrow Mongol rule. In the shadows, alliances are formed. Discontented knights, merchants angered by heavy taxes, and priests determined to restore the Pope's power join forces. But the Mongols, always prepared for uprisings, have spies in every city. Rebellions are crushed before they can gain momentum. The spirit of resistance does not die, it only waits for the right moment to strike. Would Europe have eventually freed itself from Mongol rule, or would it have remained a key province of the Great Khan for centuries? Would the Renaissance and modern democracy have ever emerged, or would a Mongol-dominated Europe have developed into something entirely different? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Scene 10. The Mongol Legacy. A different Renaissance? In our timeline, the Renaissance was shaped by the rediscovery of ancient Greek and Roman texts, but under Mongol rule, Europe's intellectual revival might have looked completely different. Instead of classical European thought leading the way, Mongol-dominated Europe would have absorbed knowledge from the vast Mongol Empire, including Chinese, Persian, and Indian advancements. Mathematics, astronomy, and medicine from the Islamic world would mix with Chinese engineering and Mongol military tactics. The printing press might have been invented earlier, inspired by Chinese block printing, spreading knowledge decades before Gutenberg's press in our history. But what about art and philosophy? Would Europe still have produced great painters and thinkers, or would Mongol dominance have led to a more practical, war-focused society? Would the European Renaissance have ever happened in the way we know it? Scene 11. Would the Age of Exploration still happen? In our world, the Age of Exploration saw European powers like Spain and Portugal searching for new trade routes. But under Mongol rule, Europe might not have needed to explore at all, because the Silk Road would already provide a stable, land-based trade network. Would explorers like Columbus have ever set sail for the New World? Or would Europe, integrated into the Mongol economy, have expanded eastward instead of westward? Perhaps, in this timeline, Mongol-backed fleets would have discovered America before the Spanish ever set foot there. Scene 12. The Fall of Mongol Europe. History shows that even the greatest empires fall. Could Mongol-controlled Europe have lasted for centuries, or would it have eventually crumbled under internal struggles? By the late 14th and 15th centuries, Mongol rule would likely face resistance from within. As generations passed, Mongol European rulers might become more European than Mongol, adopting local traditions and losing their nomadic warrior edge. Rebellions would grow stronger, and independent European kingdoms might rise again. Would Europe have united against its Mongol overlords, or would internal Mongol conflicts have weakened their grip? Perhaps, by the 16th century, Mongol-controlled Europe would have split into independent states, ruled by a mix of Mongol and European leaders. Scene 13. A modern Mongol Europe. Imagine if Mongol influence never faded, shaping Europe into modern times. Would today's Europe be a fusion of Mongol and European cultures? Would major European cities have names written in both Latin and Mongolian script? Would governments follow Mongol-style rule, where military strength determines leadership? Perhaps, in this alternate timeline, the European Union never forms, but instead, a great Mongol federation stretches from London to Beijing, blending Asian and European cultures into one superstate. Would Mongol-controlled Europe have been a golden age of trade and technology, or an oppressive empire that crushed European identity? Would we see a stronger, unified world, or a fractured history filled with endless rebellion? The possibilities are endless. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.